Hey everyone, how's it going? So you're probably wondering why there's an intro before the entire episode, and the reason for that is that we talked and we felt that it was important to address the recent tragedy that's happened here at the STEM school in Highlands Ranch in Colorado. If you've been watching the news, you'll know that there was a shooting that has occurred and has wounded 8 students, and also and we also lost a very precious life by the name of Kendrick Ray Castillo. We here at the Punk Rock Horror Podcast know that being entertaining and trying to be a distraction is a very important thing, and that brings a good importance to it. But we felt that this time we should definitely say something and just say that our hearts go out to Mr. Castillo's family and friends, and the pain they're going through right now, and as well as all the students who went through that traumatic event. As you know, our lovable Anna is graduating high school as well this year, and one thing that was really shocking was to see her mention on Twitter that students are afraid to go take tests, to take their AP tests and their finals, and we are just really saddened that that's the state that our state is in, at least right now, and that where we are as a country, and we just kind of wanted to remind everyone to be loving, to be caring, to be patient, and to be kind with each other. Here on the podcast, we love coming on here and entertaining you guys and making dumb jokes. But at the end of the day, we care about all of you, and we hope you're all okay, and we hope you're all safe, and we hope your families and friends are the same, okay and safe as well. So again, we pay our respects to Mr. Castillo and to everyone who was in that tragedy, and thank you again, and let's start today's episode. I was gonna ask if you remember your song.
No! God damn it. I literally forgot about it
I
until...
think we were all waiting to hear your song.
I know.
You hyped it up so much.
Well, it's... Okay.
Boo.
It was like, when you wanna scream, scream with me. Welcome to the punk. Welcome to the punk. No, you're ruining it because he does it 3 times. Then I heard that he's like, welcome to the punk rock horror podcast. It's Scream. If you all want to scream, scream with me. By the Misfits.
No, I know, but I can't just... For some reason, I can't imagine the beat. I don't know why.
See, this is...
I'm
So
sorry,
I don't
man.
do any creative input for this anymore.
Welcome to the Punk Rock Horror Podcast. Matt.
Hey, my life.
That's Cody. That's who that was.
You
Today-
shit all about my song. Then you're
today-
like, you know what? I can't even remember the Great Misfits song
Today is aside from...
that you sung on here.
I sung... I think it was
Scream.
Astro Zombies.
No, it was Scream. Like way back when you were trying to do the whole like pick a popular song, but like
Right.
just change it for us.
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
wanted
you
to
did
do that.
Scream.
I
That was like
wanted-
the first one you did.
I've been wanting to do that again. I don't know why I haven't.
When I try to Scream, you're like, shit on you.
Today, we're here to remind you to take care of yourselves. Do some self-respect. If you want to get a haircut, get a haircut.
Like
Go.
it just decides
go
to
take
be
care of yourself.
SpongeBob chicken me over here. I don't know what I forget to be.
I'm trying to save this episode.
What the fuck is it? Oh.
I'm trying to save it so bad. You gotta work with me here, man.
No.
Imagining at this point.
Let's just continue.
I'm just imagining a Ghouling Al at this point, just being like,
Why
"We're
is he
fucking off
such
the
a
rails."
dick?
What is this show
We're
become?
What's happened?
Like, I'm not going to recommend that show is an intelligent one for people. I mean, it's no Science Friday, but they're entertaining.
Give him that. I think Cody needs counseling. He cries a lot on the show. Or screams a lot.
I mean, kind of pair a bit of both.
What are you trying to say, Matt?
It's the bread and butter of the show.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that fucking better be what you're saying. You know what's funny about my movie is Metacritic gave it a terrible score.
Right.
But then IMDb comes around and is like, what the fuck? It's a good movie.
Yeah, it seems to be one that's kind of like... it seems to have the same problem as like Event Horizon.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, you're either going to love the shit out of that movie or you're going to hate it.
Mm-hmm. I like it. I like my movie. That's why I did it. I'll talk more about it when we get to that point.
It's a real divisive...
Well, I was talking about like... I actually have a small history with my movie. But I'll talk more about it when we get there.
Okay, I was just going to say, it's like one of those movies that's really divisive amongst audiences.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's also one that a lot of people forget about.
Yeah. True. And that's why we're here.
Yep.
So yeah, let's talk about some things we love and some things we hate.
Oh, should we?
Yes. Did we go?
Should we?
Did you go first last time?
That was so long ago. Yes.
What did we? My God.
Well, okay.
How
To
do
them, this is only like because we had to smash our recordings all out in like a week.
Yeah.
For like several weeks of episodes.
No,
so
we
like
did.
it's. So to them, they're like, "What the fuck are you talking about? It was so long ago. It was 2 weeks ago. You son of a bitch." And I'm like,
right.
and we're like, "This was like 3-4 weeks ago."
How can we remember anything about a horror movie, but can't even remember 2 weeks ago?
Because we also know to not pay attention to what we say.
I guess.
Like.
Yeah.
You know what? Fuck it. I'll just go.
Okay, man.
You know what? Forget it.
Wow.
I'm just gonna go.
You're being real hostile.
It's been an emotional day. Okay, it's been a very, very, very long week.
Fair enough. Talk about what you love and hate.
I was getting there.
Do it now. Right now.
You know what? Now the pressure's on. I can't do it.
I will go if you do not. I swear to God.
Thing I love is so my coworker, he was telling me about Dragon's Dogma, Dark Arisen.
Right.
I think that's what it's called, Dark Arisen.
Yeah, that's the expansion.
And so like, because I told him how I was a while ago how I was getting back into Skyrim because I wanted an RPG that I can play, and I played Skyrim so much I don't need the sound, so like it's not bugging Dev when she wants to watch her shows at night.
Yeah.
Because I can just play it on the Switch and I don't need the sound because I'm just.
You know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know what you're doing.
And so, like I've heard of Dragon's Dogma, but my coworker went into more detail about it. And so then I was like, oh, cool. Well, I'd like to play. I was like, yeah, it's on the PlayStation. Or like the PS4, they remastered it. But then I saw it was coming to the Switch.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to hold out for the Switch version.
Yeah, that's
and
gonna
so
be good.
I bought it, and I just started. I'm still super early, but like, it has a good speed. Like I know it's a long game, and of course there's gonna be some sections that are kind of like lulled, but like unlike Skyrim, like it just throws you into the thick of things, and you just have to like figure out as you go. I mean, you fight a chimera in the first like 10 minutes of the game.
That fight was pretty badass. That was a great like intro boss.
So
to the
like,
fight,
and especially to teach you to like climb on them and stab at their weak points.
Yeah.
By like climbing
Also,
up the snake tail and stuff.
That serpent fight was dope.
I haven't gotten there yet.
Oh, well, when you do.
Because where I'm at, I literally just made my pawn.
Oh, okay.
And
so you're still early.
Yeah, I'm still really early. I haven't had a whole lot of time to like really play.
I gotta tell you, it's about Dragon's Dogma.
Okay.
So obviously, you know the pawn system. Like you can make your own character, a second character, follow along with you.
Yeah.
So, when I did one profile, I made you it, and I totally like understood the voice like setting weirdly. Like I didn't understand how to set the tone just right, and so I made your character extremely high pitched by accident. It was really funny. It was like And that Chimera fight, my character was like getting killed, like almost, and then all of a sudden your character like runs and jumps off a rock and is just like,
I hate my life.
It's the funniest fucking thing. You just like take the Chimera's attention and start kicking it ass. I was like, I'm not gonna make fun of the voice. It was right on, man.
Oh, god damn it.
No,
Good to know that I'm a pawn.
Feel honored.
But no, what was funny is because, like, how my coworker told me, because, you know, you want to make your pawn and you want, like, higher level characters to pick your pawn.
Right.
For their adventures and whatnot. So, like, he's like, the way I did it, or the way he did it, was that he just made his, like, pawn super sexy. And so I was just like,
pervs.
I'm going to make mine super sexy. Because this game's going to be released to a whole nother generation of prepubescents
Oh my god.
that are going to have it on the Switch. They're going to play at night when their moms and dads are going to bed.
That is both the funniest and creepiest thing.
You know what? I'm going to get all that high loot now, aren't I?
I mean, that's just really like, it's smart. It's so smart, but it's so creepy. But it's smart. It's like it's legitimately the definition of like sex sells. Like,
I know.
Jesus.
Exactly. I know what our society's about. And so, yeah, there's that. And also I got Cuphead, which I talked about when we were recording at Gorehounds, that I was super stoked about. And it's a great game.
Yeah. It's just...
God, it's so freaking hard. Okay, so this one boss that literally took me like 4 days to beat. It's funny because like on the internet, he's considered one of the hardest bosses. It's this dragon, and you have to hop on these clouds. It's like so it's a continuous moving one, and you have to hop on the clouds.
What are you talking about?
And so like by the first hour, this is what pisses me off so much is that by the first hour I learned all of his moves and everything, and honestly, the boss fight really isn't that hard. Like it's not that hard, but every time. For whatever reason, at certain parts in the boss fight, I just have a brain fart every single time and freeze and just get hit. And I'm just like, God damn it. It took me so long to finally beat it. But I did.
You know, I told you a month later you're going to complain about it.
I agreed.
I'm just saying.
I agreed. I didn't say I wasn't going to complain about it. I just would rather do that than Dark Souls.
I feel like it's... in a way, like our own Easter egg. Right? Maybe? I don't know.
I think you're trying to be meta.
Maybe.
A little too hard there, bud.
Fuck me. Sorry. Wow.
You know what's actually kind of funny? We have the exact same haircut, just my hair's longer. Legitimately the exact same haircut.
I didn't even think about that. That's fucking funny.
Yeah, I just noticed that.
Oh my god, we're so alike.
I know. Sorry, I'm tired. I
only had like
apologize. 5 hours of sleep. But, so, and then, the thing I hate, I love my job, because I know my boss listens to us every now and then, but I love my job. I honestly, like, really do. I love it there. But it's just the line of work, just being a cook, and there's this post, and, it shows a cook sitting on a
like a
crate,
bucket.
Yeah, a bucket to eat his dinner. And the whole thing's about like, you know, this is not just like kitchen life, because a lot of my good friends are servers and have been servers, but just the whole like food industry life, how like, you know, we get to miss out on on dinners with our families and stuff like that a lot, so that way we can provide a service to like give food. Let people, you know, give people good food and a good time, you know, because they're paying. Right. You know, our paying customers and everything. But, like, that hit me hard because, like, the thing that hit me hard the most about it is, like, how much time I'm losing with my, Dev and Audrey and stuff just so I can, working. I mean, everyone loses time with their families because of work. But it's, like, with that, the thing that bugs me the most is, like, the some customers are, like, super rude towards service industry people. And, like, don't care. They have no common courtesy towards us.
I think what we're getting around to is the inconsideracy of patrons.
Yeah, basically, and it's not everyone, and I also know that some patrons they have a bad day, and it's easier to just take it out on us because we can, we're working for tips. Well, front of house is working for tips and stuff, but it's just like for me, it's like the inconsideracy of like, it's late. Like you never think of the cooks, and when you go out, you don't really think of like their personal lives and their lives and stuff like that. So like. I know I always have, so when I would go to a place that was still serving food, like even if it was late, if it was like within the last 15 minutes, I'm like, no, because they're probably trying to clean up and get out of here so they could see their families. Like those are the people that kind of agitate me the most is when like, oh, you're closing in 1 minute, I'm going to order the worst thing I can order.
Oh, yeah.
And that happens all the time. And like, given I know it's the job, service industry, it's like the job that I'm in, but it's like some common courtesy and stuff like that like what goes a long way to be like it's the last 5 minutes, the kitchen is open, I'm sure like he has a family to get to, maybe I'll just like if they really want food just like order something easy or whatever, but not like a whole like 3-course meal
I
like
would argue
right at the last 5 minutes before it closes. Like
I would argue if they really want food, just go to McDonald's. Go to somewhere where that's like is meant to stay late, open late, that isn't going to close anytime soon.
And the only reason why it hits me, that post hit me so hard, like right now, is just because like, we've had a lot of customers like that, and not just like, just kind of had a small wave of them recently, and so that's why it hit me so hard. And like normally, I just deal because it's my job, and
right.
and I like my job, and I don't want to do or say anything to get myself in trouble, but it's just like. It just takes me back to all the times, at the other other places that I've worked in the past and stuff like that were just like that. And it's like, fuck. But yeah, like I was saying, it's just kind of like the common courtesy thing, man. It's like when you go out, this is kind of for everybody. I understand it's like you're already there and you're hungry and stuff, but like be considerate of the times. I know like when places are saying it's like, we close at 12 or we close at 11, those late things, it's kind of like, be kind of considerate towards, like, not just to the cooks, but also the servers and everything at that time. It's like, if you're going to order, like, a whole entire meal with, like, 5 minutes before the kitchen's about to close, it's like, just kind of think about it, like, I can go, like, eat here, eat there, or maybe I'll just order something small here, that way I'm still helping out the establishment, but at the same time, not, like, I don't know. I
think we know what you're getting at.
Yeah.
I think you're just kind of going overboard. Like, with detail.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. You're passionate about it.
I know. It's just pent-up stuff.
No, man. I get it, man. Like, rudeness drives everyone of us crazy.
Just be considerate to your servers and the cooks at all your favorite restaurants. Like, it's their job. I know it's their job to be super friendly, but seriously, don't push those boundaries. Like, that's just being rude.
Right.
Don't be rude.
It's being rude.
Rude. All right. Matt, what's something you love and hate?
I'm trying to think if I want to go with what I love first or what I hate first. I think I'll go what I hate first because it's going to be pretty short. So, like, the thing I hate is that, and it's not, like, there's no way to just, like, excuse it. I just hate the fact that people are wanting to be spoiler trolls for, like, Endgame.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's just such a dick move. It really is. Like, I know it's like a total first world problem thing, like, and it really is. Like, in the grand schemes,
but still,
it's not a big deal. Like 10 years, 20 years down the road, it's not gonna be a big deal. Like, I get that, but in the moment, for the people that do actually care about it, to like go and spoil, something that they've been wanting to see for so long, and are excited to see and actually are invested in the characters and in the movie and all of it. Well, and then just you to shit all over that enjoyment. It's a dick move. It doesn't make you funny. It doesn't make you fucking unique or creative in your humor. It's just, you're just a dick, pure and simple.
Yeah, it goes along with my thing. Be considerate, man.
Yeah.
Like, seriously. Yeah, because it's the same way for me. Like, when I heard about, I read this thing, it's like, moviegoer gets jumped after spoiling Endgame. Like, after he went and saw the movie, I was like, good. I would have beat the shit out of him, too. Because it's just like, especially for, like, you and me, you know, we were reading the comics way before they even started the MCU.
Right.
And so, like, seeing our, like, favorite heroes and stuff like that up there, and then have someone just come out and go, like, spoil the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, it ruins it for us, and it ruins it for other people. It's like, why would you want to sour someone else's happiness just by being that much of a douchebag? Or, like, ruin kids' happiness because they're going to watch their favorite superheroes and stuff.
Right.
You know?
No, I feel you, man.
It's just, don't be a dick.
Just don't be a dick. Thing I love, though. So, I it's kind of like a two-parter in a way. So, one is, I'm gonna make it. This is gonna be a double deep episode for a second here, so bear with me, man. So my job,
Sorry.
You know what? It's just true what you said at the beginning. Is that you're either yelling or crying. Like,
I know.
But so at my job, there's a union, and I kind of want to just give them a shout out out here. I know this is like specifically like Denver or like Colorado based, anyways, but they're called the JESPA, and so I just kind of want to give them a shout out and tell them kind of how awesome they are because I'm part of their union, so it's a little biased, but the only reason I'm part of it is because they've been there a lot for me in my job, and they've actually shown to be a union that cares, and that's just kind of awesome that there's an organization that cares about the common man, and woman, and it's just, you know, it's really cool, and I just want to give them a shout out. They've been really cool people, and yeah, I guess if you have a great union, give them a thanks because they really do fight for workers' rights in most cases. So, anyways, going on to that though, I am loving the shit out of Preacher.
Yeah.
The AMC show.
Yeah.
Because it's on Hulu now, and I wanted to watch it because I love Garth Ennis.
Yeah.
Like,
dude, the Preacher comic series is great.
Well, and the way he did, because I brought it up a million times before, don't be surprised I'm bringing it up again. I really liked how he did Crossed.
I thought we were done with that.
I'm just saying.
You also said you'd stop bringing
But
it
also,
up.
he did some badass. So he also did some badass like Punisher stories.
Yeah,
and I didn't realize this at first, but he also did Ghost Rider Trail of Tears.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. And that is literally one of my favorite stories of Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
And so
it's a good one.
Yeah, it's kind of like I didn't realize how big of a fan I was of Garth Ennis until I really looked at it. Mm-hmm. You know, and so Preacher though, like the show is just it's badass. Like I see why people kind of have issues with it here and there, but I think it's such a cool and unique show about this dude trying to like find God and, you know,
literally
master the power of Genesis, and it's just really rad, dude. Like it,
yeah.
And then like Lauren was watching with me today, and I was telling her about it, and she got interested into it too, and she's gonna start watching it as well.
Nice.
So yeah. And the last little tip I'm gonna throw in is we're not gonna spoil anything, but I loved the most recent episode of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I know that's a very divisive one, but like.
In a few years,
I liked it a lot.
At some point, I will argue why it's great.
Yeah. So, I'm not going to say it's a spoiler just because it's been everywhere. But, like, you know, people were complaining about the darkness.
Oh.
The second I noticed it was, like, that dark, not just because of TV, but that's how they filmed it, I was like, oh, I get it.
Yeah, because it's the Night King.
The Night King
long
and
night.
the death bring the night.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I was like, oh, I get it. That's pretty clever. And then everyone's like, I can't see it. It's like
I got both arguments of people just wanted to be a little lighter, but I also got the argument of why it needed to be that dark.
Artistically, it needed to be that dark.
Yeah, like.
And again,
I think they're both fair.
Turn up the brightness on your TV.
Like, I think they're both fair in their arguments.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like one's better than the other, because I mean.
No.
Because I know for some people...
Because I'm not saying, like, it needed to be that dark. You're just not sophisticated enough to get it. I'm just saying, it's like, I understood it, but I also understand it's like, well, who the hell died?
Right.
Because you couldn't see?
Yeah. So... but no, yeah, it was just a fucking rad episode. I like how it ended, and I will argue that it was a smart ending.
Yeah.
But we can't talk about how it ended because we're nice like that. We're not going to spoil it for you.
Yeah, especially after we just went on about spoilers.
So
Harrison.
He's upstairs probably eating pie. Leave him alone.
No, he lost his pie. He ate it all.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, Yay. Good for him.
Yeah.
I guess.
Speaking of pie, on to the movies.
So
Your slice of pie of entertainment and movie knowledge, listeners.
I think you went second last time.
Yeah. So I'm first this time again. Okay.
First this time.
So for my movie, I did Pandorum. It came out in 2009. And so before I get in, the synopsis is two crew members of a spaceship wake up from hypersleep to discover that all their colleagues are missing. Despite this, it appears that they are not alone. So it was really funny about this movie for me, like just a personal experience, is that when I first saw the trailers for it, I wanted to see this movie so freaking bad.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to see it so bad. And I don't remember why I never went and saw it in theaters. But, like, I really, for whatever reason, this movie just, like, caught my attention. And then I saw it when Blockbuster was still around.
Well, that was a thing.
Because, like, that was still a thing back in 2009.
Surprisingly so.
My mom, me, and Gary went to Blockbuster, and I saw it, and I was like, oh, fuck, I want to get this movie. And so Gary's old thing was that he used to collect movies. Like, it didn't matter. He just would buy movies, and he had them all labeled and numbered because his kids' friends would steal them and stuff like that. You all right?
Yeah. I'm trying not to breathe heavy.
Sorry, listeners, Matt is covering his face like Dracula with his vest.
Sorry. I just feel like I'm breathing really hard because I noticed, like, in the past few episodes, like, it's come back because of my sinuses.
Oh, yeah, your sinuses.
It's because of food, okay?
But he said he would buy it and let me borrow it, and I was just like, for whatever reason, I did not like that. I was just like, no, I want it. Like, I want to own it.
Like, I will fight you in the parking lot,
And like,
Gary.
it was like, well, no, I'm buying it for myself. And I was just like, well, I don't want to borrow it. Like, I don't know why I was just so against it. And then I totally forgot about this movie. Like, I was so, like, it upset me when I saw it on Netflix. I just remember, I totally forgot about it. And it was just I was just so passionate about seeing it, and for whatever reason, I think it was just like my mindset at that time. I was like, you know what, fuck it. If I can't have it, I don't even want to fucking see the movie. I'm gonna forget all about it. And then I saw it on Netflix, and I was like, oh shit, I've always wanted to see this movie. Like, it was even before we decided we were gonna do a sci-fi episode.
Right.
And so then I like sat and watched it. And I enjoyed every minute of it. I was like, man, why was I such an asshole about borrowing this from Gary? Like, it's a good movie. And then after watching it, I was like, why? Because it's a very unique movie. Like, it takes some cliches of, like, sci-fi stuff, but then it, like, kind of made its own thing about it. And then I need to look up something. When did Dead Space come out? But, like,
I got you. Don't worry about it. You keep talking.
Yeah, I enjoyed every second of this movie, and I just really couldn't remember, like, why I was so against it.
I got you. Don't stress it.
Okay. And then I was, like, thinking to myself, I was like, why has no one talked about this? Because the uniqueness of it was good. The CG still holds up. The monsters
came out in 2008.
Okay, so this is the best video game movie that's a non-video game movie.
Right.
It is, like, this movie was basically Dead Space the movie.
Yeah.
Because, like, and I'll get to why. So it was directed by Christian Alvart, written by Travis Milloy, who did the screenplay and story. And it stars Dennis Quaid, Ben Foster, and Cam Gigandet. Jesus, I wanted to put way too many.
Cam Gigante.
El Gigante. And Ante Trau. I just wanted to make sure I threw her in because she's a huge part of this movie. But yeah,
is it Ante?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying now.
So, you know you're a giant ass nerd when you hear Entei and you think of the legendary dog Pokemon.
Yeah.
Well,
Is that what you did?
Yeah, I was like, that was like my favorite legendary in Gold and Silver. That one was dope. And I'm just like, I'm such a fucking nerd. How did I get married?
Beats me, man.
Like, I just don't that's where my mind goes. Not like, oh, I bet that's like really European and majestic.
Yeah, she's German.
I wonder what that history is. Where does that name come from? What does it mean?
It was like,
it's Fire Dog! He's Fire Spirit! Fire the heart! I gotta give me another game. I gotta give me another copy. I gotta play those new ones.
Yeah. But anyway, so going back to how it's basically Dead Space the movie, your main character is an engineer instead of like a hardcore Marine guy.
So Dead Space.
Yep. Because he's a tech engineer. His gun, instead of a plasma cutter, like is like this
it's like
security bracelet that shoots out sonic blasts and stuff. And I was like, huh.
Yeah, it has a special weapon.
And then how they, like, the one mutant they kill, like, they had to dismember him.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just like, man, this looks awfully familiar. This is fucking Dead Space the movie. It takes place in one ship.
Right.
That you're trying to repair.
Right.
That he's trying to repair in the movie. And I was just like, no shit. This is the best video game, non-video game movie ever.
It's probably going to be the best Dead Space movie we ever get until they decide to actually make one, if that ever happens.
Yep. And then some small details that I really liked about the movie. Well, first off, the CG holds up fantastically. Like, from back in 2009 to now, like, comparatively, it still holds up really, really good.
It's pretty to look at.
Blood factor, I like that it wasn't extremely gory, but the blood they use, like, is spot on. Like, when they needed it, they needed it. And it explained, like, I didn't find a whole lot of plot holes in this movie, which I really like. Because, like, they have, no one has their memory, and they explain it because they were in hyper sleep. God. For so long that, you know, their brain basically was kind of, like, just shut off.
Right.
So it's, like, having to basically do a reboot. And so, like, I like how that explains why they don't have any memory except for, like, stuff that's burned into their brain, muscle memory stuff.
Right.
And then when the main character first wakes up, it shows him outside of it. It shows outside of the pod that he wakes up in. And, like, he's banging on it and screaming, and you can't hear him because they're supposed to be soundproof.
Okay.
And then it shows him inside, and, you know, you hear him screaming and stuff like that. And then when he gets out of the pod, like, he's weak and sickly, which I like because your body's been asleep for that long, even though they were having the nutrients pumped into them and stuff like that.
It's going to be malformed.
Yeah.
Or not malformed. It's going to, like, have lost some muscle because you haven't been working out.
Mm-hmm. And, like, it explains why they still have, like, muscle build and stuff like that because the machine was pumping all these nutrients in him, but they haven't moved. So I like that how he was stumbling, and that took him a couple minutes to really, like, start walking.
Right. Like the worst case of, like, a dead leg ever.
Mm-hmm. And then the mutants look dope. Like, they did a really good job of, like, mixing in, like, a Mad Max type orc looking thing.
Yeah, they kind of look like legitimately look like orcs from space.
Yeah, because, like, when you're, like, watching, like, and they're cannibals, so you're like, oh, it's space zombies. Ooh.
Space orc.
But, like, no, they were, like,
kill the halflings.
And they were smart, and basically. And, like, they were smart. Like, the mutants were smart. They used weapons and stuff, so I like that. They weren't like zombies; they were actual cannibals. Because it even says that it explains where they came from, which I like.
Wait, was that a huge spoiler?
No, I didn't say where it came from.
Oh,
I'm just saying the movie explains where they came from.
Oh,
that's what I liked about it.
I was gonna say we didn't do a spoiler warning.
The only spoiler that I'm gonna talk about is that he uses a laser shaver.
Wait.
Where he like just no, it's not
okay.
It's a joke.
Oh, I thought you meant like a.
No.
I was getting nervous. I was like, I'm gonna save you.
No, and he has to shave, it just zaps all the hair off his face. He just like pulls it down. It's a little laser thing. I was like, man, I want that fucking thing.
I know, right?
The hero's actually super smart. That's what I like. I mean, he's a tech engineer, so like
brains over brawn.
Mm-hmm. Like he gets into a spot where he's running away from the mutants, and to hide from them, like he kicks the glow stick that he dropped in front of the door. So they wouldn't see him while he hides back in the room.
Yeah.
I was like, that's actually pretty cool. That's smart, because normally they're like, And then like one random mutant's like, hey, look, that shouldn't be there, and they find and eat him. But like he kicks it away, so it's like not even by him. The music in this movie is really good too. Like every time the mutants are around, it's super loud and bangy. Yeah. And because they're like metal-like and stuff too. And so like it makes them very intimidating. And the other thing that I liked about it is like even though they hunt in packs, like it took all three of the main characters to take down one mutant. Yeah. And I thought that was really cool because it shows how much of a threat they really are. And I was like, that's cool because usually when you see the whole horde mentality thing, you know, they're weak. That's why they travel in a pack. Right. But in this movie, they're like, no, these things are fucking scary. You should be terrified of them. And like they did a good job throughout the entire movie about it.
Kind of like how the White Walkers are, in a way.
Anyways.
Sorry.
No, I know.
That's what it made me think of. God, sorry for putting input.
Well, okay. In. Well, it comes to the White Walkers. The only reason why like they're super like they can't take them down is because they didn't have the weapons at first.
But yeah,
you know what I mean. That's what made them scary. But they weren't strong. If the human wasn't like a strong person that the White Walker takes over, like they're still super weak.
I get it. Okay, bad example.
In this one, they're badass.
Sorry for the comparison.
You should be. And then it's really it's a small detail throughout the entire movie, but one thing I really did like was one of the main characters can't speak English. Like he doesn't speak English. Oh yeah. And they like get through that language barrier by like small little things, or like, you know, through just talking with each other and stuff like that, and they learn body language, and it's just small things that they finally learn with like you know, even though we don't speak the same language, we know like and stuff like that. Like they figure out how to communicate.
They teach a very good synergy class for businesses.
Yeah, basically. And then this movie has 2 twist endings, and I thought they were both great. And then after rewatching it, like for one of the twists, like for both of them, like it shows hints throughout the entire movie of why, like of what the twists are actually going to be. Right. But like it still comes out of left field, especially the very last twist. It's really freaking good, and I was like, no shit, that explains a lot. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you still get it.
What else about it?
And so that's what I really like about this movie. Definitely give it a chance. It's on Netflix. It's free. If you have a Netflix subscription, almost everyone does. So I definitely recommend giving this movie a watch. Oh, sorry. One last detail that I like is that all the heroes. So this is something that I saw about the movie Venom. How Eddie Brock like is always so super sweaty and dirty looking, and he's wearing like the same clothes throughout the whole thing, and they're like, you know, his clothes look dirty because he hasn't changed the entire time. Right. It's the same thing with this, because it's like the hero doesn't always have to be super clean and clean shaven, even after like he making fun, to make fun of the third Transformers film. The main chick was all in white, goes through a crashing building, and all this dirt and rubble and all these explosions happen around her and stuff like that, and she has one smudge on her cheek. Right. Her clothes are still completely clean.
He's a regular guy, is what you're saying. It's more realistic.
Yeah, it's more realistic and relatable, because you're like, that's what I like about it, is like, you know, they've been surviving in this. Some of them have been surviving in this place for like ever, and they're all dirty looking and stuff. And I was like that a lot. I was like, see, even the hot chick is dirty looking. She doesn't need to be like super sexy and glistening and hot.
She's a weird woman.
Yeah, and she was completely badass throughout this whole movie. Again, horror movies and sci-fi showing that women can be badass for fucking ever.
It's like when she is fighting the orc, she's just like going all
like
ham
all spider monkey and shit. So
like, claw his eyes out.
Yep. And this is another movie that I find really funny that it did terrible with like Metacritic and like the huge critics or whatever, but like it's got a 6.8 out of 10 on IMDb. And, like, everyone I've talked to about this movie said they liked it. So I just think it's just one of those movies that just got lost in the, really, really good sci-fi horror movie that just got lost in the shuffle because everyone talks about fucking Aliens and Predator as, like, the sci-fi horror movies. And I was like, this was a great original, well, quote-unquote original for a movie and no one talked about it, and then it's kind of upsetting.
Right. Like it's what was I gonna say? It's also a good thing about it is that I enjoy just Dennis Quaid's in it, and he says curse words.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting hearing Dennis Quaid curse.
Speaking of Dennis Quaid, so it's really funny whenever I hear his name, because Quaid, I believe, is Arnold Schwarzenegger's name in Total Recall.
Is it?
I'm fairly certain it's Quaid. And so every time I ever heard Dennis Quaid, I didn't think he was a real person. Because like I would watch a movie that had Dennis Quaid in it, and I was like, that's not Arnold Schwarzenegger. Who the fuck is Dennis Quaid? Even though I like a lot of Dennis Quaid's movies.
It's not a thing.
Yeah.
It's not a thing. Why would that be a thing? Yeah, it's Douglas Quaid.
Yeah, D. Quaid also. Like,
you're like, so that's a character.
Yeah, I was like, what? What? And then like my mom was like, that's Dennis Quaid. You're thinking of a fictional character. That's an actual actor. And I was like, oh, that makes so much more sense.
I mean, it's really close. I'm not
gonna lie.
It's really close.
It took me a lot longer than I'm willing to admit to realize that.
It's okay.
That Dennis Quaid was an actual person and not just a fake name from Total Recall.
If it helps, I kept for the longest time I called cocking guns.
Everyone called it at that point. At some point, I used to call it cocking guns.
I just get weird looks, man.
Yep.
I think I'm still not saying it right then.
Okay, some trivia about the movie. Pandorum is the first film in a proposed trilogy, but is doubtful to see sequels since Pandorum had low box office performance.
Wow.
It sucks, but at the same time, it's kind of good because I'm one of those sticklers where it's like if it's a really good, solid horror movie, I don't think it needs a sequel, especially if it ends on a pretty like a note where it's like, yeah, it's an ending instead of the cliffhanger stuff. Because this one actually has an ending, like it could be seen as a cliffhanger, but it ends and you're like, okay, that's the end. Because I didn't even know it was going to be a trilogy.
Was that how endings work?
Yeah, that's how it works. This part's cool because I could totally tell it was real. Ben Foster insisted on eating live insects instead of using special effects or dead ones.
Oh, Ben Foster!
So when he actually
to be the weird guy on the weird kid on the playground.
And the other funny thing about Ben Foster is like, I didn't know he was the lead in this movie because I don't remember ever seeing him in the trailers and stuff. And then when I saw him, I was like, huh, I've never seen him as a lead.
Yeah, it is. The cast is. It's casted really interestingly.
Yeah.
Like, Dennis Quaid, like, there's scenes where he totally does come off as a hard ass and he's doing it well, and there's other times where it seems like he's trying way too hard.
Yeah.
And then like Ben, like that was a real risky move as a lead, but I think it was the smart move because like generally when you have like an action like hero in a sci-fi movie, right? Like, you would probably think like Bruce Willis. But because Bruce Willis wouldn't be able to play like an engineer, though. But because they've Ben Foster, like, he looks like an engineer. He looks
crap.
Isaac Clarke.
Yeah.
You know, if they did do a Dead Space.
Yep. The movie has gained a cult following over the years. Fans have created a group on Facebook called Fans for a Pandorum Sequel in hopes of starting the franchise. Yeah. Director Christian Alvar and writer Travis Milloy have joined the group to show their support for a sequel for this movie.
That is badass.
Yeah, that's dope.
Shout out to that cult following. If you're part of that and you're listening to this, high five. Good job. Pat yourselves in the back. You guys are the badass ones. I mean, I think maybe we should go support too.
Yeah, I would. I'd like to see another one. Oh, that's cool. Except for Ben Foster's character and Dennis Quaid's character, no one else is ever referred to by name in the film.
They don't deserve it.
I just thought it was cool.
I don't know. I don't know what the reason would be, honestly.
Oh, and this is funny because that kind of got me. Pandorum supposedly refers to orbital dysfunctional syndrome. It is a psychotic break which takes place amongst ship's captains when they become convinced a mission is cursed. Essentially, a descent into madness brought on by the pressures of life in space, impining on an individual's sense of paranoia.
Wow.
This is a completely fictional condition. Got him.
Dope.
I actually thought it was a real thing because I was like, no, that actually kind of makes sense.
That's dope.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's my fun facts. Definitely check out this movie. It's really, really good. Like, it really is. And, yeah. It's on Netflix, so give it a watch. Pandorum.
Nice. Solid lead off there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I try.
No, you do.
Let's do your movie, Matt.
So, I get really excited because I was really gonna think of doing Splice because I do enjoy Splice a lot. Like, it's actually a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, I feel like there's one that's just a bit better that has not gotten the attention it deserves because it's so goddamn weird and so out there with its lore.
Okay, before you continue, when you told me about this movie, I was just like, I was a little confused because I remember for a couple years this was like the B horror movie to watch and like be a part of.
Right.
Like, I saw so many memes of this fucking movie. I've seen like a bunch of like costume shops who were like re-releasing the masks and stuff like that, and they're all like, this movie's a big deal right now, and I was just like, it's a terrible movie, but it's so fun.
Oh,
but why is this popular now? Of all things.
Like, well, it's gone down in popularity, and I'm jump. We're gonna see if we can fix that. So, well, the long-awaited dude, and also I really wanted to get Lauren to watch this one because she hates what it's about. And also, another little tidbit about this: I have seen this movie so many times throughout my life. I've watched it from middle school to high school. I've watched it with my friend Jenna numerous times. God's sakes, every girl I've dated, I've made them watch this movie along with the Evil Dead series with me, just to see if they could last. Only one has, and I married her. So, without further ado, I decided to do my favorite clown movie, Killer Klowns from Outer Space, which came out in 1988.
Oh my god. You know what's funny? Like, you talk about like how many times you've seen this movie. I've only seen one scene like more than like 100 fucking times. It's only one scene. I see it everywhere.
Wait, let's talk about it here in a second. So, this movie is directed by Stephen Chiodo, and is written by Charles Chiodo, and written by Stephen Chiodo. Stars Grant Kramer, Suzanne Snyder, and John Allen Nelson, and also a few short scenes with Christopher Titus. And it's about...
Titus. I forgot he was in this movie.
Yeah, so what it's about is aliens who look like clowns come from outer space and terrorize a small town. And that is literally it. There's no other way to go into deep lore. Like, that is as deep as it gets, and that's what I love about this movie. So, let's talk about it. Here's why. So, first thing that I love.
No way, we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay, just
you have to tell them how movies work, and I have to tell them how we're gonna talk.
I thought we were just gonna, like, sign it the entire time, like make them think it was like,
well,
why do you like this movie so much? And then at the very end, it was like, all right, thanks for listening, everybody. Yeah, just slap.
Yeah.
There's one person on there going like, you're just clapping now.
I'm no Sherlock, but that doesn't sound like professional sign language. So, pros. So, this one I get a little flack just because they did run into a huge amount of controversy 2 years ago. And so, the Dickies do the opening theme song. Like,
oh yeah, we were there. We watched that entire thing happen.
So that was a whole thing. Like, I'm wondering if we should talk about that.
So okay, just a quick overview of what happened. So we were at Riot Fest.
No, Warp Tour.
Or Warp Tour, yeah. It was the last time we went to like a Warp Tour, and we were just kind of like walking around and stuff. We were super tired from Gwar. And we were just trying to catch our breaths and just
it was like you, Lauren, and Harrison.
Yeah,
we're doing our thing, and I got hungry.
Yeah, you went to go get food, and me, Lauren, and Harrison like turn around, and we just see the lead singer, the Dickies, get all up in this chick's face and just like cuss her out and called her all these very, very
this whole thing made headlines. Like this was on like Vice reported on this.
Yep.
Like it got a lot of attention. I was like, holy shit, that was the one we were at.
Yeah.
Because, like, my whole side of everything is that I was in the longest line for a Euro ever.
Yeah, and when you come back, we're like, dude, you totally missed it.
No, I saw the whole thing. Because the food truck was literally right across from the stage. And so, like, at first, I totally didn't think anything about it. Like, I just thought, I was like, oh, it's the Dickies. They're just being the Dickies over there.
Yeah, that's what I thought, too, at first, until, like... his last line, I was like, man, shit just got real. Because, like, I was like, yeah, rock on. Yeah, you cussed that person. Oh, my God, he's really cussing her out.
Well, yeah, I didn't think he was actually cussing someone out. I thought it was just, like, a rant he was going on, like, talking, just like a general, like... crowd, like, we're only like, fuck the man, fuck you, the fucking bitch. I was like, fucking bitch,
because at first, like, the crowd was cheering, and then till we all realized it was real.
Yeah, once I knew it was real, it was just like, you fucking cut, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, this isn't part of the show.
Yeah, because,
oh, like, my God.
He got real and real vulgar, and then, like, this one chick walks away, and then another one just stands there the entire rest of their set, just flipping them off. And, like, in my head, I'm like, yeah, you show that old punk star who's probably dealt with a lot worse than what you're doing.
I mean, I got both sides of why they're upset. I
know. I was just mostly making fun of the girl who stood there for the rest of the set, flipping them off. 'Cause I'm like, yeah, that's going to really get his attention.
Well, I understand why they were pissed. Like, I get it, because especially if how they're trying to make scenes safer for kids, like being a dad. I do get that. I totally do. I'm not saying they weren't in the you know.
Yeah.
It just like escalated really bad, and even for him, he's just a veteran punk, and he's stuck in his ways, and you know that doesn't excuse it, but it's just like it's just a really messy situation. Yeah. But just the fact that we experienced that, I was just like one day, like if Aaron asks me about this, I'll be like, let me tell you why I only go to one place for my Euros from now on. It's never a food truck anymore. So, no. Anyways, besides that long amount of pro, so another pro is that the movie is supposed to be ridiculous. You know, they're supposed to be alien clowns. Like, they look like actual just like clowns if a clown was a species. And so they have a tent that is their UFO, and it's all supposed to be ridiculous and over the top. And that's what I love about this movie, because it feels like something that people that love horror would actually make, and you know, for fun. And that's what I love about it. Mm-hmm. And so, like, one of the things they do is that they go over the top with their characters' exaggerations of their stereotypes.
Yeah.
They even have, in the beginning of the movie, they have a stereotypical hillbilly. And it was the funniest fucking thing, because, like, as the circus tent falls down to the ground, they think it's Hilly's Comet, and this hillbilly sees it, and he's like, oh, dog, we're gonna get rich, we're gonna get rich. Like, runs out of his, like, shed in, like, in overalls, plaid shirt, with a shovel and a lantern and a bucket. He's like, yeah, we're gonna get rich, get. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is so over the top. It's fucking great. Also, so for being, you know, 1988 film, like, the creature effects look great. Like, the clowns as the aliens actually look really good. They held up really well. They're practical effects, and that's what I love about it. The costumes for the clowns, obviously, like, and most of the weapons that they use, besides the effects that come out of the weapons, are actually, like, really designed well, look really cool.
Yeah.
And it's just, even the inside of their ship is so badass. Like, it is so unnerving because it looks like the inside of a funhouse. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what makes it so great, because it's such an unnerving inside of a ship for such a ridiculous movie. And I love that, because it shows attention to detail. They really care. They're like, it's definitely like, what if 8 clowns were aliens, and they, you know, what would be what? Oh, cotton candy would be used as husks to keep people in, to drain them of their life, you know, and we have popcorn that there's a homing weapon, and it's just really cool. Like, I love that. It's just the most ridiculous depth into lore that I've ever seen, and the most attention to detail that I love. So and so there's one thing about this movie that really sold me on it. So obviously it gets more ridiculous as it goes. Like the way they kill townspeople is ridiculous. Where it's like they do the shadow puppet of like a T-Rex and it eats a dude. And
that's the scene I see all the fucking time.
It's just really cool.
Well, it's like even when it's on TV, like I'll be scrolling through or whatever, like and it'll be Killer Klowns from Outer Space. I've even gotten to the point I'm like, I wonder what scenes is going to start off for me. And I turn it on, and it's that exact scene where it starts off. That's how I first saw the movie. That's where it started, and that's the only scene.
I mean,
so I've never seen it from the beginning.
It's really well done, though. Like for its time, that effect of the shadow puppet T-Rex is really well done. But that's not the only T-Rex I love. The fact that there's a clown T-Rex at the end of the movie.
Clownzilla.
Yeah, Clownzilla. Like, it's so fucking ridiculous. I'm like, of course that's the queen bee. The giant-ass clown Clownzilla character. And I'm like, oh my god, and it's fighting an ice cream truck with a clown on top. I'm like, it's Twisted Metal meets Godzilla. It's great. Mm-hmm. It's so goddamn hilarious because it doesn't take itself seriously the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's the boxing clown.
Yeah,
that literally knocks the dude's block off.
Knock my block off?
And then literally does it. It was like, holy shit! Because I feel like that would happen to us. Like, I feel like one of our friends would actually go up to him like, what are you going to do, knock our block off? And you and me would be like, no, don't. Don't. And then it would happen, like...
We told you.
Fucking said so. And then
we told you.
And like Harrison was the one freaking out. I'm like, oh my god! I can't do a loud scream, high pitched scream, so he's an E now.
Yeah, it's okay. It's
I was like, don't do it. I know you can. Don't do it.
I'm not gonna do it. That's gonna hurt our listeners' ears. That's when they're gonna find us and kick our asses.
Yeah, basically.
Couple cons I have about the movie, because obviously it's not a perfect movie, but it is still hilarious and awesome to watch. So it's just that our hero has this really ugly sweater. Like, that's my first...
That's your con?
That's my first con. I know it's ridiculous, I know it's petty, and I know it's the dumbest thing for making a con, but it's like, everything's brightly colored, everything looks pretty to look at, like, it's nicely done effects, and then just blah sweater. It's just blah. Like, it's like the most plain version of oatmeal if it was a sweater. And it just really bothers me. And I know it's dumb. I know that's such a dumb con to have. And it really even shouldn't be a con.
No.
But it's just...
It bugs you that much?
It's such an ugly sweater, dude. Like, God.
Okay.
It just screams... Like, I put mayonnaise on all my sandwiches. Like, it's just it's an ugly sweater, dude. I'm sorry.
Jesus.
I know it's so dumb. And everyone who thinks it's dumb listening to me complain about it and thinks I'm dumb for complaining about it, you're totally right. You really are. But it's just ugly. Blah. So another thing that I guess it's a product of its time, and I'm not going to let it get away with it, is that there's a slightly racist scene with our lead character when he hops on the hood of his truck, and he's like, Chief, reckon there you go that way. He does a very racist native chief stereotype, and then his girlfriend's just like, oh, stop it with the many moons, Chief running with the mouth. And I'm just like, God, I gotta make it a con. We're into a new age of progression, man. I can't let it go.
All right.
I can't let it go. Also, I'm just saying, man.
I get it.
Well, also because our artist is a native too,
yeah,
and she's proud of it, and I love talking to her about native culture a lot, and I just was like, I guarantee she'd probably hate this because it's just really bad.
Yeah.
And it is, and I'm not trying to just say she would. I'm not trying to say obviously you know where I'm getting at with it. I'm going way more into detail than it needs to be. Basically, it's just a really bad racist joke.
Yeah.
So another thing we're gonna hold as a con is that obviously this movie is ridiculous and it's over the top, And I still love it despite the, racist scene, because I get it, it's product time, and I let it go. But there's one part of this movie that really bugs me, and that's when one of the clowns goes to Big Top Burger, and he starts to, like, lure the kid, the little daughter, out to him.
Yeah.
And he's a big-ass clown, and you can see him holding a hammer behind his back. So the mom comes and grabs her kid as she's already opened the door. Full view of the clown, and yet the mom doesn't see it.
Huh.
At all. Like, and I'm just like, how do you not know notice the creepy-ass clown luring your child? Like, it is right there.
No, she sees it. She's just ignoring it. She's like, if I don't pay attention to it, that means it's not real.
Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Maybe she's too scared of clowns.
I'm not acknowledging it.
But no,
that's
I'm
what
not
the therapist says.
Well, that's not an excuse, because they go to a place called Big Top Burger. I'm pretty sure they had a Burger King
Therapist says I don't need to acknowledge it, then it's not real.
Anyways, it's just like, it really bothered me. I'm just like, what? How do you not notice that? That's no excuse. Shame on you. Shame on you. So yeah, a couple interesting facts about the movie is the $2 million budget went primarily on production costs.
$2 million budget.
$2 million budget went primarily on production costs. The clowns and visual effects were created almost entirely by filmmakers at very little cost. And that's impressive because, again, those effects are really dope. Like, the clown costumes are top-notch. Mm-hmm. The scene in which a car is thrown over a cliff was initially intended to be far more spectacular. The car was to fly over the cliff and crash down to the ground. Unfortunately, the sling rope snapped because effects crew members neglected to remove the stoppers from underneath the car's wheels. The result was what was seen in the film. The car slowly tumbles over the edge and becomes caught in a tree.
And like, the director's watching all this happen. He's like, well, I can't fucking do it again. Can't afford it. So that's a wrap. And then like the effects crew were like, we're so fucking fired.
And then like as the film was being reviewed, they were just like, that car scene, that was fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
How did you plan that? And like they were just sitting there the whole time like, it was on purpose. Like we really thought it through, that it needed to. We were thinking, how would it look like if we actually let a car fall down a cliff? We even thought, like, if we were irresponsible enough.
Yep.
So thank you. And, like, totally like, bullshit their way out of it.
Yeah. Afterwards, like, oh my god, I can't believe that worked.
So there are very interesting similarities between The Blob in 1958 and this movie. Both have a first victim who is an old geezer living in a cabin and who has a dog.
Yeah,
both movies
there's gold in this.
Both movies have a decent cop named Dave who does not believe the young people, and a crabby older cop who seems to have a grudge against young citizens. Huh. Mm-hmm. Oh my god!
Read this one. I want to read.
Are you
this
gonna?
one.
Okay, fine.
I was hoping you weren't gonna see it.
I saw it right away.
Horrorcore rap group, the Insane Clown Posse, sampled dialogue from this film for the staleness on their 2002 Joker's Card album, The Wraith Shangri-La.
Oh my gosh!
Because I was really hoping you were gonna see that one. I'm like, I want to watch his face.
Oh, and an early version of the restaurant scene was shot showing the Chiodo brothers sitting at a table in the background as extras.
Instead, Charles Chiodo played Clownzilla.
Oh, I need to get his autograph even more now.
Yep.
And with that being said, like, it is an awesome movie. I know that one scene is like really bad, especially in today's day and age. Like it might offend some people, and I mean, I didn't really like it, but I still let it go because I do love the overall movie, because I don't hold it against the whole overall movie, because I still just love everything about it because of how over the top it is.
Yeah.
And that's just my thing. Take that for what you will. But please check it out. Like, it is still a good movie. It is still a perfect, like, B horror movie. And especially, like, it's a product of its time. It's nostalgic of the 80s. And it's just for your collection. And you want to get it in your collection as soon as possible.
Yeah. See, you watch Pandorum to get the intensity and all the scariness out.
Right.
And then you'll fall asleep watching Killer Klowns because it's enjoyable and ridiculous.
Like going, ha 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 ha. I would also...
He literally knocked his block off.
I would also argue that this is a good movie to show someone who is afraid of clouds to slowly break them of that fear.
Yeah, especially because, like, you know, it is a big thing.
Right. But you can actually laugh at this movie.
Yep.
Like, yeah, the clowns look creepy and everything, but...
Yeah, show them this before you decide to show them it.
Yeah. Probably right to do so. You know, but if you want to support the show and help us out... You know,
I just like that. Yeah, you know, if you want to support the show.
But no, if you do want to support the show, we do have merch at Teespring. That first link in the details of our episode notes right there will take us right to our store.
They're soft. They're very soft.
The shirts, yeah, they're form-fitting. They're very soft and nice. Yep. They move with you.
It's like they were made from a sacrificial lamb.
I feel like you made another sacrificial joke last time we talked about it, too.
We're making it again. Instead of a goat, it's a lamb. Next time, who knows? Maybe it's Pikachu.
But no, our merch is dope. It's please check it out. We might be coming out with a deal here soon.
And plus... someone's got to sacrifice the living animals for this show.
Yeah. I was about to follow that up with maybe we should do, you know what, I think it fits. Let's do a veterans, kind of discount of some sort. I don't know. I think it'd be cool.
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool. We'll figure that out. But if you still want to support the show in other ways, please go over to our patreon.com/punkrockhorrorpodcast. We have moved around our rewards a little bit. So we decided to finally make the PRHP half hour power, which is now officially called a $2 reward, so you get a bonus show. We do that because we're actually working on an even more badass $8 reward now.
Yeah.
So more details to be coming soon on that. But yeah, for just $2 a month, you get access to episodes before anyone else, get a shout out on the podcast, and also, you know, kind of get this awesome new show that we're doing on the side that Lala is hosting and filling in for us. So thank you to Lala and Colorado Punk Rock Army.
Yep. But thank you guys so much, and thank you, Lala, for stepping up for us.
Yeah, check it out. Just $2 a month, get a bonus show. You know, you're welcome. And let us know what you think. Yep. But if you want to follow us and keep up with everything that we're doing in our listener participation corners and all updated
you said
episodes,
that really fast.
I'm getting faster at it, man. I'm getting faster at it. Please like us and follow us on Facebook or Twitter at officialprhp. Or
our new Instagram, Punk Rock Horror Podcast Official.
Or you can check out the website. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say, it's still the same hashtag PRHP Podcast. And for all those following our other Instagram, we're just I'm going to make a post here in the next few days just to transition everything over to the official one. Just a lot of stuff happened with our the login stuff that I was having trouble with the old Instagram, and so we created
a new one, a new start.
Yeah. So
yeah, that's basically it. So you have time to go over the new page. It'll be in the episode notes below, so you can do that. With that being said, as well, you know, you can listen to us on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Player FM, YouTube, basically almost anywhere you get podcasts. Thank you again for continually supporting us. Thank you, because of all you listeners, we reached over 1,000 downloads last month, and that was amazing. Thank you so much for your support, and we're almost to 1,000 followers on Twitter. So thank you, all of you ghouls and gals. You're all amazing. Your support's amazing. Please don't stop talking about us, and we're gonna keep trying to bring the best A game we can. Thank you. You guys are amazing.
Yep. Thank you, guys.
All right. With that being said. Podcast over.
Podcast over.
Bye.
Bye.